Women's Sports Mix.
Cambridge Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Women's Sports Mix. I'm Alex Elbro.
And I'm Amy Gray.
And what are we?
The A-Team.
Thank you very much.
You didn't join me.
Oh yeah, I was getting excited. Sorry, didn't mean to leave you hanging there. This is the fortnightly programme looking at local women's sports and promoting grassroots sporting opportunities for women and girls in the area. And today we're not only talking about Shelford Rugby going as a team, some of the team, to Rwanda with the charity of Friends of Rwanda Rugby, but you'll also hear how we got on when we went and trained with Shelford Women's Rugby squad last week.
Yeah, we'll find out how the charity promotes well-being through sport. And we did not know what to expect from this training session. We just signed ourselves up. Fabs, I think, somehow roped us into it.
She's a good convincer. We were definitely not prepared for the full training session, including a game of touch with the Shelford women. But we were keen, weren't we?
We were.
And they were keen too.
We gave it our best.
So more about this coming up later.
We'll also have the latest from Cambridge United women as their season, well, it's drawing to a close, just 2 games left, and neither of those are at their usual home ground in St Neots. There is a league game at the Abbey and a cup final at Cambridge City's new stadium in Sawston, which is against Histon Ladies, who themselves have picked up 2 more wins in their league, a very impressive season from them. We'll also take a look at Cambridge City. They need to give everything to avoid relegation. All the details later, plus reaction to the U's 4-1 loss against QPR. Cambridge Kodiaks too, they had their first loss of the season. I've spoken to head coach George Alley. That's all later.
And as always, you can contact us via the email address wsm@cambridge.radio or via Instagram @women's_sportsmix. As we last spoke to head coach Darren Messenger and Fabs Howell from Shelford Women's Rugby team, they mentioned that a group of them are going out to Rwanda towards the end of May to join a small charity, Friends of Rwandan Rugby, who teach rugby to children and young adults across the country. They aim to promote reconciliation, health and well-being by using the values of rugby to build trust, friendships and foster shared experiences on the field. We wanted to hear more and see if we could help with the fundraising. So we went down to Shelford Rugby training ground last week and we spoke to 3 of those going. Darren, Ben Cooper, who's the forwards coach for the women's squad, and Anna Goggin, also known as Gogs, who's one of the players. And I started by asking Darren about the charity and how they first got involved. So Darren, you're taking a group over to Rwanda again this year, but this isn't the first trip, is it? Can you tell us a little bit about the charity and how you got involved?
Yeah, absolutely. I went 2 years ago. I was trawling through social media and saw an opportunity to work with a charity called Friends of Rwandan Rugby. They go out to Rwanda to introduce rugby to the schools, to the kids, teach the teachers how to coach that as a volunteer, and it just felt like something that really exciting, a little bit different, and I wanted to give something back. Rugby's given me loads, and it's a great opportunity to, like I say, give something back. So yeah, my second trip, so really looking forward to it.
And Ben, it's your second trip, is it, I believe?
Yeah, it is. So I went last year, followed on from Darren. I had a conversation with him, and last year it happened really quickly. We had a conversation on a Thursday night or Tuesday night, I think, and 2 days later I was signed up and was out there in May.
And how did you find it going out there? It must be quite different. I believe they don't play rugby as a sport generally.
So they have got a national team, but it's nothing like here. It was an amazing experience to deliver coaching out to something we're just not used to at all. Was a real eye-opener, but I loved every minute of it. And last year we were part of the team that went out and coached T1 rugby for the first time, which is produced across the whole world, but in Africa, Rwanda's the first country that's doing that. So yeah, it was awesome.
What's T1 rugby?
So it's just another variation of rugby. It's sort of a mix between tag rugby and full contact. So there's no live scrummaging, no lifting the line outs, but it's really developed so players can get a better understanding of it, but also like working together, males and females can play together as well, so it gets everyone playing.
That sounds really good.
Who is it that you're working with? Is it all ages? Is it mostly rural communities?
It's mostly rural. So we do fly into the capital, Kigali, where some of the schools have already been introduced to rugby. But really the role of the charity is to go to a different district across the country each year to introduce it for the first time to the school children. And it's real beginners, so it's 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, sometimes a little bit younger. So it starts with tag and then we move on to tier 1. But also part of that role is to educate the teachers so that they can carry on those lessons, and also the charity supply what they call rugby development officers, so coaches that travel around the country making sure that those sports lessons and those games and rugby stays at the forefront of their PE lessons.
So Anna, or Gogs, that's what I'm going to call you, this is your first trip. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, feeling really excited, to be fair. When it was sort of first mentioned that it's going to be an opportunity, I think Darren mentioned it back in sort of December, it was something that really sort of caught my attention. Looking forward to sort of going out, teaching what I know of rugby, because I've just sort of joined last year, and yeah, just having fun with it. Different opportunity, and with these guys it's going to be really, really good.
How long are you going for?
We're going for 10 days, so we fly out on the 22nd of May and then back on the 1st of June.
And have any female coaches or rugby players been out there before with this group?
So from the Shelford and Cambridge group, no. But there have been other female coaches female players gone out with the charity before. We felt it really important that we get more females out there because they are introducing rugby to boys and girls at the same time. So there's a great opportunity for Rwandan rugby to develop the two at the same time, at the same speed, which is something the most developed rugby nations have struggled with. Women's and girls rugby is always trying to catch up. So this is an opportunity to bring it in at one go. And as always, as we've said previously on the radio, girls want to be coached by girls, and that makes perfect sense. So the more we get out there, the better.
And Anna, when did you first get into rugby, and what's your experience of being involved?
So I think officially last year. So I joined Shelford back in March 2024. So that was when I really sort of, I guess, committed to it. But before then, just like a little bit here and sort of there. But I've mainly been sort of playing football. So that's my main sort of sport. And then now chasing an egg around the field, which is good fun. And these guys have been great. Both Ben, Darren and Benny, our other coach. Yeah, been really fun.
So you moved from football to rugby, or you're doing both?
I'm only doing one. So I moved from football quite a while ago and then had a bit of a break and then fancied my chances at rugby.
Dogs, how common is it for women and girls to go from football to rugby? Are there other people in the team that have done that?
Yeah, definitely. I think Sophie's done it. Quite a few people that have probably played football at a younger age and then sort of swapped over. I know a lot of university players that I played football with have now swapped over and now playing rugby, or they were definitely giving it a go. I'm pretty sure one of them plays for like Portugal now, others for... a lot of people have swapped over. I think there's some really nice transferable skills that you see within football players that can then sort of translate over. So, yeah, quite a few, yeah.
What are you seeing in terms of results and responses from the children that you are teaching rugby to, I guess mostly for the first time?
Yeah, so they're just a bit lost to start with, bless them, but absolutely love it, really committed, and they just go out to have fun and have a laugh and joke, and you can see them building the memories from there straight away. So, and that's what the charity's about. We're going out to build memories for them, and hopefully they can take those memories and get more and more over the years. So yeah, they love it, absolutely. Well, last year they did.
On my first trip, we're in an area that none of the kids have even seen a rugby ball, let alone understand the rules. And actually the first school we went to, they were playing football or soccer, but their soccer ball was a carrier bag stuffed full of carrier bags. So sport is very, very new to them. There's no pitches, they're playing on gravel, they're playing barefoot, but you can see the joy. They just want to play sport, they just want to run around like loonies, like any kids. But, Rwanda's had a troubled history, and this opportunity has been a long time coming for them, so they just get so excited.
Yeah, I'm guessing if you haven't seen anyone in the area play rugby, you would think about it as a kind of weird thing. The African nations have been really good in football, so I think there's no reason why they wouldn't be good in rugby, given the opportunities. With the World Cup coming up,
Will there be any way to watching it?
TV coverage is quite good in Rwanda. It's a well-developed nation, so there's opportunities for them to watch rugby. They're a multicultural country, so there's lots of French influence as well as English influence, Belgium influence. All those countries are into their rugby. So it is developing very fast. They're a way off competing at a decent level. The idea was a couple of years ago when we first went there was to develop their teams so that they could play in the Commonwealth Games. Obviously the Commonwealth Games has taken a little bit of a hit with some of the sports, and rugby is one of them, so that's a bit of a shock for them. But they'll just keep trying to get better and compete in an African Nations Cup and hopefully just get better and better with the help of not just us, there's other charities, and cricket, cycling. They're the three. Rugby, cycling and cricket is where they want to be.
Now, Anna, have you got any drills or special things you've been working on to take there?
I haven't thought of anything yet, but I'm sure I could come up with something.
Anna's our fitness expert.
Some other girls are going out as well, are they?
So another player, Gibbs, coming out with us as well. So that'd be really good, having another player there. And yeah, she's full of experience, so that'd be really good.
And is there any way that we can help with any GoFundMe that you're doing? Because you're going out on the 22nd of May, so we've still got time before then and potentially afterwards.
Absolutely.
Do people donate directly to the charity, or can they also donate to the specific volunteer things that you guys are doing?
Yeah, so the charity has its own website where you can donate straight to them. Each of us have got our own GoFundMe page, but we've also got a team GoFundMe, so if any of us are a bit short of money, we're building up, and so we'll all get out there and have the money for it.
Do you take out balls and things as well, so you've got all that stuff to do?
Yeah, absolutely. We're told to travel very lightly, hand luggage only, because we've got a huge amount of baggage allowance each to carry kit, second-hand kit, first aid kit, balls, bags, pretty much anything that's been donated. I know Shelford a couple of years ago donated over 300 shirts. Cambridge have donated, Cambridge Rugby Club have donated this year. Cambridge University have given us a few bits and pieces. So, yeah, we literally turn up in shorts, T-shirts and a toothbrush, and then we carry kit. So, yeah, we're not particularly pleasant by the time we come back after 10 days with no change of clothes. But, yeah, we take a lot of gear with us.
And what about the future? Do you think this is something that's going to grow year by year? Have you got plans for next year as well?
I'd like to think so. I mean, it's not a cheap trip, and obviously we are fundraising to try and do that, and it's difficult to keep going to the same people to help support it. But I think if we can develop a link between Shelford/Cambridge and Rwandan rugby and Friends of Rwandan Rugby, we'd like to take a team out to play against their national team to give them experience. So we'd like to develop that. I think it's great to have a link with different countries, and so yeah, I think we'd like to continue to do it.
Yeah, to add to that, I think just speaking to some of the players, I think I've piqued a lot of interest. So I think they are talking about 26 as trying to get more of us girls going out there and coaching. So that'd be a really good opportunity for them all.
And you're saying you could do it in the sevens, couldn't you? Like have a little mini tournament or something. Is that kind of the plan?
Yeah.
I would say, Darren, I'm not really the sevens expert in the coaching squad personally.
Yeah, there's obviously a difference in standard. So taking 15 good rugby players, we wouldn't be able to find a team to play against. But Rwanda are specialising in sevens at the moment. That's where they're heading. So if we take 7 players out there, and it makes it a competitive match, and we can play more teams that way as well to spread the word. And also getting 15 people on a plane to Africa is logistically quite tricky. But small steps. We've started with me, then Ben. Now we're up to 5. So hopefully we can just keep growing it.
It sounds really exciting, and hopefully you'll come in and tell us about it when you get back as well.
Absolutely.
Really good.
Thank you to Ben, Goggs and Darren. And there is time to donate to their GoFundMe is where you can find them. It's gofundme.com. And if you start typing in Shelford Rwandan Rugby, it will come up. If not, the direct link is gofund.me, and then it's /AD 895920. And if you want to learn more about the charity, that's friendsofrwandanrugby.com.
Thank you. And on a previous episode, we also said that it might be fun to come and try a training session with them. Do you remember that?
We did. We had all these big ideas at the beginning of when we started doing the programme.
We were going to do it for everything. Everybody we spoke to this year, we were going to go and see to go and do training, and we still want to in the theory.
Yeah, we were going to go train, and we were going to be fabulous, and it was going to be excellent.
We are. We're going for all of them, but we haven't really found been able to work it out.
We did our clip and climb.
Yes, we
and
did.
we got a taste for it.
Yes,
so
we did.
When Fab said about going down to Shelford Rugby, we couldn't resist.
No, the only problem was that last Tuesday was their last training session of the season, and of course it'd been pouring with rain all day, and it wasn't showing any signs. I did try to get out of it, didn't I? I did message them.
We did. We were worried about the equipment and the audio.
Well, yeah, and, that's our excuse.
But that was the only opportunity, and we couldn't not do it. Could we?
No. Oh, definitely, we weren't going to be turning it away. So the training we did we turned out that we weren't giving up. Were we? Once we were there all in, weren't we? Yeah. So I think it was about 90 minutes, maybe.
I can't believe that. When you said to me, I thought it went so quickly.
It did go really quick.
Quickly.
I mean, I keep thinking, was I imagining it? Maybe it was an hour. No, I think because
But even an hour, it didn't feel like an hour.
Either way, it was a long time. And even they kept saying, should we go in now? And everyone kept saying, no, which I would have been happy if they'd said yes, but we weren't going to go in if they weren't. So anyway, the training was split up, isn't it, into two bits. So we did drills, like passing drills, and tackling, and then we did a game. But we'll talk about that a bit later. So let's first go with the passing drills and tackling.
Perfect, well done. Plan B, we're just going to do some quick hands here, quick hands on the blue. Then a group of you will disappear and just do a little bit of contact stuff so they get a bit of an idea about what that is about.
Is there food?
There is food.
Lovely.
Of course there's food. All right, so on the red cones, okay, hands up, gentle passes, help each other out, talk to each other. Good pick up, Meg. Good chat, you guys. Okay, listening up. Go to the blue cones, please. Okay, slightly longer passes. Look after the ball, it's wet and horrible.
Hands up, hands up. Lovely.
Well done.
Sign her up.
Sign her up. Well done, Alex. Nice.
Right, let's go. Hands up, target. Let's have some chat.
Lovely.
Good. Very good.
Fantastic.
Couple more. Well done. Two more.
Up the chat, good.
Nice. Let's get back on the red cones, please.
Let's go. Move. Simple hands. Doesn't need to be a spin pass. Straight across the body. Give a target. That's it. Keep it going. Keep it up. Keep it going.
Oh, look at the concentration. Here we go. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Forwards with me. Let's go. Who's next on the tackle pass?
Oh, God.
Go on, Meg. Let's go, Fabs.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Go on, Fabs. Right, we can start flying up. Let's go.
I didn't bring backlights for this. And you want to get your head on the other side to where you're going to go to pull them over. So we say it's cheek to cheek. Your cheek goes to her bum cheek. Right.
So,
and then you push her.
So as Soph goes there, okay, Soph has gone to my right foot, nice and close to her, drop my body height, and I want to make contact with my shoulder around her hips, wrap my arms and end up on top, okay?
You got this. Woo! Good. Wrap, push it over. Yes.
3 more, because that was dreadful. It's not walking rugby. Meg and Fabs, go on then. Finish off strong. Finish off strong.
Good one. Nice, Meg.
Good hit. Right, in we come.
Look, I know it's the end of the season and we'll always have a laugh and joke. Just on that, key things, isn't it? Yeah. Let's get low. Make sure we have the head on the right side. Wrap those arms and get a leg drive. Let's make it dominant. Okay, look, let's go over to Darren, do a bit of sevens, and then have a bit of a run around.
Go show her. I mean, the rain feels like it's maybe easing. Maybe. Yeah. That's what we tell ourselves.
Oh, we've reached such saturation.
Okay. Fun?
Very fun.
Bit of fun? All right, no injuries, no broken noses. All good. We want to stay out and do some touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not giving up now.
Good. Okay.
This is Cambridge Radio. Women's Sports Mix.
And I don't know if you heard at the end there, Alex saying, we're not giving up now, in a slightly small voice, but we were still going for it. And hopefully that gave everyone a bit of a flavour of the kind of thing, if you were maybe thinking of joining your local team or joining Shelford Rugby, the kind of vibe that you get at training, the things you're doing. What we were doing was passing the ball initially to each other, not very far, and then eventually longer. And they were very kind to us because they were throwing slightly more bullets to each other, and then when it was me and Alex, it was slightly nice.
I don't know about that.
It still felt like a bullet to us.
One of them gave me the tip. She's like, go on the end, then you only have to throw one way. And I was like, what? I didn't even. Oh, I see. But then I was thinking, no, because that's
you want to do all of it.
That's more confusing because then you have to sort of just go and then you stopped almost straight away. But
it's sort of running and passing at the same time as a drill.
I mean, it's doing the two things that was really getting me confused because I was so pleased I'd caught the ball because I don't know about you, but that first ball that they threw,
never dropped it though.
No,
never
exactly.
Dropped it.
I was thinking, please don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Please just catch one. And then we were quite good at that.
And I will say this, and I'm not saying this for clout, and I haven't made it up. Fabs said, "Such good hands."
Yes, I heard that
quote from Fabs about my catching, which was, I think, I was not very good at the tackling, which we you kind of couldn't really tell there.
It's probably more my forte. Yes. My size helps me on that one.
And also thank you to Zoe Woodhams, who has done the commentary for us, who plays for Shelford Rugby and has been on the Women's Sports Mix, but wasn't training.
Yes, she was captain, but because she was getting married in a week. And funny enough, that made me slightly nervous when she said, "Oh, I'm not going to play because I don't want any injuries before my wedding." And then I'm thinking, oh yeah. Anyway,
sending us in. And so we have the clip now from the touch game, which is no contact, but I mean by then we were experts, Alex, so I don't know why we couldn't have, because we'd done what, 2 minutes of tackling training.
Exactly, we could have done that in the pouring rain. And so although they say it's touch, it's not tag. So like when the kids play, they play tag, so you pull the belt. This was touch, but it actually meant kind of grabbing the person.
It was very it felt fast paced, didn't it? So it did feel like you were doing a lot. And when you listen to this clip, do keep listening until the end, because the team crest for Shelford Rugby is a peacock. And at the end of this, you will hear the peacock cheer.
There's going to be lots of ball down. It's nice and wet. Jump on it, slide on it, kill the ball, okay? Chicken scratch, I'll allow just one pass, because if we pass more than 3 times, it'll be a miracle in this weather. All right?
Make sure you explain everything to the newbies.
Let's go, play!
And we're off. Jasper did a really nice loop around the back. Gizzy got round. Benny's playing too, one of our coaches for some reason, which is great. Oh, no ball down yet, which is very impressive. See if Alex can get the ball. It's about to. Yeah, there she goes. That was a deliberate knock on, yellow card for Goggs there. Jess is off. Great pass out to Kat. Time for the forwards to crash it up. Oh, not yet. Our 9 crashed it instead. It's unorthodox, but it was working. Oh, God, Alex! Yes, Alex! Amy's currently in the defensive line with Fabs. Looking good. Oh, nice. Hoggy's got the ball. Alex is in for shoot. Oh, go on, Alex. Lovely pass. Alex got touched by Amy there.
Okay, so we'll go again, swap ends so that they've got the wind and the slope. Just as a coaching point, it's wet, so give yourself a little bit more depth, give you a bit more time on the ball. Pace is fantastic, the energy is fantastic, and trying to pass in the tackle, great. We'll allow offloads. Glad we're all having a lot of fun. Love it.
These players are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. Looks like the boys have got in because they're scared of the rain. Here the women are. Training like they mean it. Great touch made by Alex. Great defence. Oh, and Sophie. Sophie's on it. Sophie's on the team. Oh, and that was a terrible box kick. Nice. Great running by the forwards there. Lovely. Showing us to everyone how it's done. Keep going. Oh, Amy's got the ball. Solid hands. Good catch.
Great turnout. Appreciate it considering the season's over and the weather. So thank you very much for that. I know these guys will appreciate the big turnout to give them to kids. Hope you enjoyed it.
Sign them up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a messy season because of the way the league's gone, but it's been a fantastic season. I really appreciate everyone's hard work. It's been, really, really fantastic. Finished 3rd in that league. Again, it's only our 3rd year in that league, so we keep going up and up and up. So it's fantastic. Forget all the chaos below us. To achieve what we've achieved is fantastic. We're still a relatively small squad, relatively small in size as well, because some of the teams we play against, but we outplay them 9 times out of 10. So really, really proud of everything we achieved. Thanks to the support of both our coaches, our other coaches. Nice to have Benny on, our wellness coach. I hope you guys enjoyed today. Thank you very much for coming, and let's go and have a beer. Come on, Giz, for old time's sake.
1, 2, 3, Peacock! Woo! This is Cambridge Radio, Women's Sports Mix.
You're listening to the Women's Sports Mix with Alex and Amy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. You sound like the Cadbury's Flake bunny then.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
the
I'll
Easter
take
bunny.
that. Thanks. Ooh, how exciting for me.
So, how did you find your first rugby training, first ever training in rugby for both of us, really, wasn't it?
First time I'd done any rugby, apart from that one time when I was at school when they didn't have someone small enough to tackle me. But I really enjoyed it, and really thank you to Darren and Fabs and everyone who set that up, because I haven't really experienced anything like that as an adult. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was so supportive and so much fun. Yes, we were there obviously doing our women's sports mix tryout. We understand that was a bit different, but
they were always really supportive to each other as well, weren't they?
Yeah,
I'm really great.
That's going to be like that if you join the team. That is what it's like there. So we were so impressed, weren't we? And so thankful to have that opportunity and experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think all these things, when you do try them, it does give you that realisation of how good people are when they're playing, and they just see it looks like seamless when they're like when you think you can play tennis or anything else. You watch people that are very good at something and you think that must be easy because they make it look easy, but to pass and watch where you are, like in any team sport, and in rugby you can't pass forward, so you have to, I was beavering off thinking, oh great, I'm running ahead, and realising that was too fast, then I'd run back again, and all that sort of stuff, and then passing. And I think when I did get a pass, I was so excited to have caught it that I didn't actually run anywhere, and then pretty much got stopped straight away. But to be able to then run straight off, but almost catching and running at the same time.
And we were both struggling. We had our Cambridge Radio hoodies on. They were so heavy with rain by the end of it, and we couldn't even keep our sleeves up.
We were trying to pull sleeves up, and it was like wearing an extra thing, like a whole body on you. But it was so it just got wet. It got wetter. The rain just carried on, and it was just relentless, and it got.
We had a lovely hot meal.
Yes. So after they said come in, and they were like, "There's always food for you as well."
We were like, oh, "Hello!"
And it's the most cheesiest pasta bake I have ever eaten in my whole life. It was carb heaven, wasn't it?
We were pretty stuffed. Thank you very much.
So yes, I didn't need to eat till the next day, so that was lovely. So yes, that was very kind. And then the bar was open as well, so all good.
All good. Yes. So if you're interested in joining their club, do get in touch with them.
Yes, if you go to the Shelford Rugby website, then it's very easy to find, because there's just literally a bit for women, and then it says how to join, and there's a link to a contact page for that. So very good.
Thank you very much, Shelford Rugby. And looking at the football now, Cambridge United women have played their last away game of the season. They have one league and one cup game to go. I caught up with U's women's team secretary Liz Pamplin, and I started by asking about Sunday's 4-1 loss to QPR.
We'd had 2 weeks off previous to the Loftus Road game because we haven't got many fixtures left, and so we went in. We'd had 2 good weeks of training. We went into the game at Loftus Road confident that we had the right plan in place, and unfortunately QPR scored quite early, but we played really, really well in the second half of the first half and had chances that we couldn't quite convert. And then we came out for the second half quite confident, and then QPR scored again quite early, but we got back into it. Sarah scored a really, really good goal. And then we were pushing for the equaliser at the end of the game. And we let in 2 soft goals right at the end of the game on 86 and 93 minutes. So unfortunately, the score itself looked quite one-sided, but actually the game was a lot more even than that. We were disappointed that the score came out quite so heavily against us at the end of the game.
You were 2-0 down after half-time, but then quickly got it back to 2-1. I guess when you're in the position in the league that you are, you think, well, let's go for it.
Absolutely, and we did, and we went for the game, and we had a chance that could have got us back to 2-2. And honestly, we're watching the football. It looked much more likely that we would equalise than we would go down further. And we were pushing, as I say, and there was a couple of mistakes for their third goal, and that was on 86 minutes. And so essentially, the tie was kind of over, and they scored from a corner right in injury time. As I say, everybody around the ground, even the QPR fans, that said that 4-1 really flattered them, and that 2-1 or a draw would have been much closer to what the result should have been. But it's been that kind of season, so we just have to take the result and work out how we can do that better next time.
For your younger and your less experienced players, having these away days at the bigger stadiums, is that good for them? Do they enjoy these occasions?
It's good for everyone. Women's football's growing, and back in the day when I was playing, you played on parks pitches, and now you're playing in like EFL stadiums, and it is brilliant. It's a great experience, and it just shows the progression in the women's game, and everybody loves these stadium days, and we just try and do our best when those occur, and clubs are doing a really good job of doing more of those so the girls feel more valued in their football.
And I think I saw that there was a decent crowd at Loftus Road. They had over 1,000 there.
Oh, right, yeah, it felt like, it's funny because we were there last year as well, and being there, it didn't feel as if they had so many, but that's I hadn't seen the highlight number. That's a really good number, yeah. We're hoping for the same in our next game, so yeah, that will be good.
And currently the U's are in 9th. You've got the potential, depending on results, to finish 8th. And when we spoke to Darren Marjoram a few months ago, U's were in 7th. And Darren had said then that actually he was a bit disappointed with it, and that the players had a lot of ambition this year. And at that point were eyeing up, it's close, shall we look at top 4? So with that in mind, do you feel you'd wanted more from this season?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we're disappointed with the way the second half of the season has gone, and games where we felt like we could have got more out of the games we've perhaps got a draw when we feel like a victory was something that we could have got, particularly against Dulwich and against Ashford. Yeah, and a couple of games where we feel like we should have competed better. We've managed to not get it over the line and lost to get in games that we felt like we could have competed better. But ironically, we've performed really well in games where, for example, against Bedford, they've won the league already, and we've drew at their place and had a goal disallowed and should have won. We won the FA Cup tie and we narrowly lost at home. And so it's been that kind of season. We've dropped points in games where we felt that we should have been able to pick them up. Yet we've picked up some really good results, beating Norwich when we didn't necessarily were convinced that would be a result. So, yeah, we're disappointed. We feel like we could have done more. It's just been inconsistent this season. And surprisingly, after Christmas, because before Christmas we were struggling with some injuries, but after Christmas we haven't performed as well as we should have done. We have to address that and work out how to do better next year.
And you mentioned Bedford there, that they have won the league, and at the beginning of the season we had mentioned Norwich were probably eyeing that title as well. Real Bedford have a lot of financial backing, I believe. What are your thoughts on them winning the league?
Yeah, I mean, if you're the team in the league that goes unbeaten for the entire season, then you end up winning the league, and they do have financial backing. They did bring over a whole new management team and a whole new set of players who'd been successful in Tier 3 the previous year. So it was likely that they were going to be up and about there, and it's not a surprise that they've won the league. I think Norwich will be disappointed. They had a spell before Christmas where they weren't quite as good as they should have been, and they would have liked to have pushed Real Bedford further, I think. But Bedford, you can't argue with the team that have been the unbeaten, the team that win the league, and that's what it takes sometimes at our level.
Talking of league positions, your final game is against Chatham Town, who've also had a strong season this year. They could finish second, pending the results. Are you expecting a competitive game from them?
Very much so. Well, obviously we're at the Abbey, which is where we love to play. We love to be at home. We love to finish the season at home and get the fans backing us, but it will be a tough fixture. They're a good side. They came down from the league above, but they've consolidated really nicely in this league. So, yeah, this will be a very competitive fixture on Sunday, and we're hoping to put up a really good performance to finish the league season.
The last game of the season is County Cup final on the 30th against Histon, who have continued to impress in their league. What preparation are you going to have for that game?
Well, this is the game where, because it's the County Cup, we have a mixture of our under-18s and our first-team players. And so this is where we've got the under-18s who train alongside us, but not always with us. So we've got the under-18s who will be playing in there into first-team training over the last fortnight and over the next week or so, to make sure that we're all ready and the girls are integrated with each other. They know each other well enough, and we're getting ready to have, a really competitive game against Histon, hoping that we can have the under-18s who are really keen to impress, making a real showcase for themselves in that final. We're just integrating them in with everybody else the last month or so.
Thank you to Liz Pamplin. And Liz and I were talking about Real Bedford there. So just a bit more information if you are curious. So their club, the men's and women's teams, is co-owned by a Bitcoin podcaster called Peter McCormack. It's also co-owned by the Winklevoss twins. twins, who you might remember them from the Social Network film. They're portrayed in that film from the early days of Facebook. They are billionaire cryptocurrency investors, and they put $4.5 million into the club last year. This was for development of a training centre, an academy, and supporting girls and youth football. So there we go. That's the backing that they've got. And do not forget the U's final home game at the Clodagh Abbey Stadium in Cambridge. You can buy tickets in advance for this one on the U's website. It's on the 27th. And Alex, I do have some news for you.
I know you said you wouldn't tell me till on air, so I hope it's nothing too shocking for me. I'm very much looking forward to it. I've got my top ready.
Okay.
What? They're going to play in a different kit.
I was going to get our tickets a few weeks ago. The seats we like, the ones that we like to go to. And they were there, and I was just, they're there. I'll get it later. I went back to get them, and they're gone.
How rude! How dare someone sitting in our seats?
So we're going to have to be in a slightly different section, but I'm sure somehow we'll survive. So that's a 2 p.m. kickoff for that one against Chatham Town. And the Women's National League plate competition. Do you remember this one, Alex? That we went out of a while ago. Yeah. The U's went out in the quarterfinals to Bournemouth, and the Cherries did in fact end up winning the plate. So we did lose to the eventual. That
always feels a bit better, doesn't it? I think. Don't know about that. And have you got anything on? We've got here
Cambridge City Women will go
and
up
Histon.
next. So Cambridge City Women, it's squeaky bum time for them in the league. Yeah. They didn't actually play weekend gone because there were some games in hand that were being played, but they did have a game on Sunday, April 13th. That was a 3-3 draw against Royston, and you've got to hand it to them, really. They're fighting relegation. It's been a really tough season, and they're still putting 3 goals past a very good club. Yes, they conceded 3, but they're going out there
still going for it.
And Royston are in title contention, so they are a good team. Any other day that you're looking at that, and away 3-3, you're looking that's a good result, but they do need wins at this stage. And some of those games in hand that were played with their relegation rivals at the weekend, Bowers and Pitsea picked up 3 points. Lovely for them. Unfortunate for Cambridge City. And Needham Market lost. So Cambridge City they're currently 4 points from safety with 2 games left, and the team that they're chasing does have a game in hand. Their next fixture is away to St Albans. It looks to me like it's a loss and they're relegated. A draw leaves them chasing a huge goal difference, which, not huge, but probably not going to happen.
They got 3 goals in that one, even though they conceded 3. So it's not like they can't make the goals if they've got a goal difference of 20.
Yeah, then really, we don't want to be on goal difference for that. So a loss is bad news for them. But let's see what happens. Histon ladies, 2 excellent away wins for them since our last episode on Sunday just gone on the 20th. It was 4-1 against Biggleswade, a brace from Molly Banks and goals from Sophie Hopkin and Poppy Smith. And the weekend before, April 13th, was a 2-0 win against Dunstable. Dunstable are 3rd in the league. Histon ladies are 4th. Do not bank on that staying the same. We have some games in hand.
Nice.
Histon have been very good this year. You fancy Harpenden for the title, most likely, but it could very well be Histon ladies pushing for 2nd place in the league. We will see. And for that league, Whittlesea Athletic ladies, so they're not in our patch, they're towards Peterborough, but they've withdrawn from the league, which obviously isn't good to see, and that's an automatic 3 points given to the teams that they had still to play.
Is that because they can't put out a team?
So I don't know what the reason is for them withdrawing, but I suppose to get that far through the season, you've got to feel for everyone involved in the club to then not, for whatever reason it may be, not being able to finish. So let's have a look at our ice hockey now. Cambridge Kodiaks played Streatham Storm on Saturday on the 19th. It was a 2-0 loss, so it's the first loss of the season for them, and I spoke to head coach George Alley for his assessment of the game.
Well, it didn't, obviously by the scoreline, we lost 2-0. It didn't go the way we wanted it to. We knew it would be difficult. The first game of the season where we went there, despite the scoreline, was actually a really close battling game. We just pulled away late in the 3rd period. But Streatham and they have always been one of the better teams in this league. They're really well organised. They'd brought in a few players in before January transfer deadline, and they were very organised, and they protected the puck better. They used it better. They took their opportunities when we just weren't able to get any clear-cut chances. Their goalie played very well, as did Alicia Jackson in our net. They just managed to get the better of their opportunities. But it was a very close game. We were only outshot 24-23 in the end, which is closer than we used to. But it was a really good game. It was a really good battling game, really well officiated. So I'm not hugely disappointed in it. It is a bump in the road, but the players have done really good work to give ourselves a bit of a cushion this season, and thankfully our league position is still in our hands.
When we're looking at how you were able to secure those playoff spots early, which is a good thing, it does mean when you go into these games, Kodiaks will always give everything, but you can have that loss. It does not affect you going into those playoffs. But I guess there's also a matter of momentum, isn't there? And like you said, that the team still want to be winning regardless of the fact you have got the playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, we can't afford to be complacent because the league structures seem to change every year. So you never know what's going to be the criteria for going up. So what I said to the players was the target is to win every competition we're in. So we still got the opportunity to do that. We can, if we beat Peterborough next week, then we've won the league. If we beat Chelmsford in our next home game, then we've won the cup. And then the playoffs is a knockout competition, so you just never know what it's going to be like. But we know that Streatham have now qualified, so we know that they are a potential opponent once we get to Sheffield. We just don't know who we're going to be playing from the north side, because it's first in the south versus second in the north, and first in the north versus second in the south for the semi-finals. That's the only guarantee we have. But we just want to be in with a chance of winning every competition we're in. That was the target we set ourselves.
Since we last spoke, Christina Ashley has hit her century of points. It's been a very strong season. Did you expect this kind of performance from your captain?
Yes and no. We know she's played at a much higher level prior to starting a family years and years ago, so we didn't know what she was going to be like. We knew she wouldn't be playing at the level maybe she was when she first joined us, but we knew that she would be a great contributor for us, and she's been everything and then some. She's been fantastic as a captain on and off the ice. She's given us great ideas to grow the club off the ice, and she sets a very high standard of herself and of the players, and she's at times in the last 2 years been the reason that we have won games on her own, but because of the way she plays, she has brought other players up with her, and we're very fortunate that we just received an Instagram message from her in July 2023 saying, "Hi, I've just moved to the area, I'd like to play." And then you look up her old stats and see where she's played and where she's had success. You can't believe your luck sometimes. I think Cambridge has been a very good location in terms of our recruitment as well, especially with players like Yoa Hoshizaki and Alicia Anderson just falling into our lap from the university side. And also, we've plugged a gap geographically between Milton Keynes, Peterborough and Cambridge. So there were other players from that area who wanted to come to us as well. Sarah Carvenen's a great example. She's one of our original players coming to the open skates in summer 23. But she was playing for Peterborough. Her joining us brought a couple of players from there. But we also have other players coming from London way, because Cambridge is not too far as ice hockey travel goes in this country. There are players who go all over the place just to find a team to play for. I think our location has really helped with our recruitment generally. Just Christina has really raised the standards and expectation of herself and the players. Yeah, she's been great for us ever since she joined.
Well, very lucky for all the ice hockey fans in Cambridge that we have such a strong team in the Kodiaks. And next up, Peterborough Phantoms, who you've played a few times now. So what are you expecting from that game?
A battle. It's a local derby. And playing each other so frequently means the rivalry only increases, and hopefully only intensifies in a good way, I hope. Last time they were a bit short. They had to borrow players from other clubs to play against us. They had to borrow one of our goalies to complete the game. So I'm hoping that won't be the case again. It's the first time we've had to go to their rink this season. But it's also our last league game, and we've still got an opportunity to win the league. So I know the players will be up for it for a multitude of reasons. But really, it's because we just want to get the win. We want to be able to then focus on the cup and then focus on getting to Sheffield in one piece.
Also coming up before the next episode of the Women's Sports Mix is your final home game at the Cambridge Ice Arena. This is Chelmsford Pythons, who you had a big win against back in February. But as you said earlier about Streatham Storm, it doesn't necessarily tell the full story, does it?
No, it doesn't. They're a really young, enthusiastic team. They're well coached, and there's a lot of development players who feed up to their senior team, the Cobras, where I used to coach, and they've really grown as a club in the last few years. The last game was interesting. It was a very physical game in Chelmsford, and it took us a while to match their physicality, but once we got going, it was a good outcome for us. Players like Cherry Hamilton really stood on their head in that one. But I think it will still be a competitive game, regardless of how the score comes out. At our level, you get a wide range of ability of players, so games can go either way depending on who's available. But we're looking forward to having him back, and hopefully we can get a big crowd in, as it's our last home game.
Thank you very much, George. And that final home game for the Kodiaks is at the Cambridge Ice Arena against Chelmsford Pythons on Saturday, May 3rd, and you can pay by card on the door.
Women's Sports Mix. Cambridge Radio.
You're listening to the Women's Sports Mix with Amy and Alex.
Yes, and yet again, the time has nearly run away with us. We don't know where it goes, but we always enjoy everything.
Mostly talking about gladiators.
Well, normally, yes, but we're not going to talk about this. The final has been and done, and it's all old news, so we're not going to go on about that. But I thought it was quite a good final, but I haven't got time to talk about it now. We'll look forward to next season and hopefully going along and making a banner at the time. But anyway, we're going to talk about the boat race, because that was on the 13th of April, and if you remember the women's boat race, it was this year. There's been a bit of controversy beforehand.
Yeah, and
the
race was dramatic. It
was
had
very
everything.
dramatic, yes. And I'm going to say cheats never prosper. That's all I'm going to say. It was won by Cambridge for the 8th consecutive year, defeating Oxford by 2.5 lengths after the clash and early restart as well. I was watching it live. I remember messaging you and going, "Have you seen it?" And then I couldn't say what was going on because
I wasn't watching it live.
No, you were out at the time.
So this happens with gladiators.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, I had to say keep quiet. But yes, they Oxford won the toss and they chose Surrey. I never know which thing. I think Surrey and Middlesex is where it counts. And said the Cox Daniel Alton steered aggressively for the first few minutes, with umpire Matthew Pinsett warning the dark blues. And then shortly before the end of Fulham Wall, the crews came together and clashed. And then it took someone off her seat. I mean, he said here, Sophie Han lost her blade. So it hit them so hard that it literally threw her off her seat. So I think they said they all trained for this had to happen, but they haven't actually had someone do it to them in such a way. So he started it, and then they nearly got disqualified at that moment, but they didn't. He let them sort of give them benefit of the doubt. I feel like it felt very old-fashioned, I must say. It made me laugh that, we have VAR, you have all the starting things. If someone moves off a block when they're in the when they're running, they can just get disqualified, can't they? In that, they're like, oh, I think the boats are about level. Should we just, someone blows a horn and shouts go?
I suppose it's difficult on water, and they ultimately want the race, they want the competition. I think in the commentary they'd said the teams want to keep going. They don't want someone.
But they stopped it. Then they were like, oh, how many? But I heard, you can hear on the commentary. He's like, how many? Do you think we give them 2 lengths?
Yes, and they got like a little
length and a half, and they're like, oh, should we go for this? I'm thinking, surely someone is on the bank with can give them a little bit more guidance. And then, because I thought, if they lose now by half a length or something, I'll become.
Why weren't they listening to Alex Elbro?
Yeah, exactly. I was there shouting at the telly.
Should have been on WhatsApp to you.
Exactly. Not that I know anything about rowing. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to do rowing, but I was about to say we could try that next time. We are having rowing probably next season.
Yeah, we would like to speak to some rowers, wouldn't we?
We will do.
Hopefully have that in the works.
Cambridge collect their 8th consecutive victory in 19 minutes 25 seconds, and in the women's reserve race, Blondie, which is Cambridge, also defeated the dark blue opponent Orisis. I shouldn't have started that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, we won every one of the things. So just complaining about what courses they were doing didn't work, did it? Anyway, we better go now. Say goodbye. Goodbye, Amy.
Yes, goodbye, everyone, and thank you to Shelford Rugby for the experience.
Very, very fun. Our next show, and it's going to be the last for this season, is in 2 weeks, May the 6th, and we're going to be talking to Hannah Warren all about cricket.